Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the final video of our Tokyo Disney Resort tips video series. Yes, this is the final video. This video is going to be about weather and clothing. We've already done a video about transportation and when to go, about shopping and eating, about rides and parades, and this is the last video about weather and clothing. Thank you so much if you watched the series. If you haven't, there's a link to the series above here, so go check it out. Thanks for watching and let's just dive right in. So I mentioned this in a previous vlog, but I really love winter in Japan. It is cold. It's somewhere between sort of 8 degrees and 14 degrees Celsius. Sorry, I don't understand Fahrenheit, but it's between 8 to 14 degrees Celsius. And so you do need a coat. You will need to keep warm, and especially in the evenings, it will drop. So you do want to make sure that you're warm. But the fantastic thing about it is it's dry and it's clear. In terms of weather, it's cool. So make sure that you have the right coats and boots and other such things so you can keep warm even if you're standing in parades. Now it does heat up pretty quickly around the area around Tokyo Disney Resort, but during March and April the weather's going to vary quite a lot. Some days it's going to be very cool and other days it will just get very hot and you'll say, oh my gosh, what's happened? So you want to take clothing that can sort of, you know, be variable for all those times. Coats that are lightweight that you don't mind if you shove them in a backpack, but also things that are going to keep you warm if the temperature does start to drop. After April, things start heating up a lot and they'll be quite consistent after that. May gets very hot in Japan. So, or at least in the south of Japan, around the Tokyo Disney Resort area, it could be around 25 degrees during May. May's a great time to go to the parks because you've got that summer feeling, but the humidity isn't there yet. So you want to pack clothes which allow you to be, you know, sort of airy and you know, airy, I guess, airy clothing. But maybe you still want to pack things to put on in the evening because you'll still get cooler nights. So you make sure you pack a jumper or something that's going to keep you a little bit warm when you're waiting for parades. All of this starts to change around the June and July period. June and July period is rainy season in Tokyo Disneyland. Avoid it if you can, because rainy season, or it rains every single day, or it's highly likely that it's going to rain at a time that you're going to be there. So if you are going to the parks, you're going to need a bunch of things. You're going to need a rain mac, and it's going to have to be long. You're going to need an umbrella, and you're going to need rain boots. You're going to need some types of wellies or something like that, because if it rains, it's going to rain heavy, and if you have a short rain jacket, you will get wet. So if you are going those times, make sure you bring all of your rain stuff, because it's almost a sure thing that any time from about the 8th of June all the way to about the 20th of July, it will rain throughout that period. So I know not lots of us don't live within rainy season, so it's quite hard for us to imagine, but it is very consistent and it is very heavy, so just be wary of that. August is a special time for weather and for clothes. Just like in other Northern Hemisphere countries, in Japan it's very hot in August. In Tokyo Disneyland around August it will be about 30 to 36 degrees Celsius. That's manageable. Those of us who have been to Florida during that time will have experienced that heat. The humidity, however, is extremely intense. The humidity in Tokyo around August is about 96 to 98%. It makes you very sticky and very sweaty almost as soon as you've left the house. For me, it wasn't so much about the heat. I mean, I could put suntan cream on, so that was fine, but it was the oh, sorry, this is a bit ick, but it was the sweat. I got heat rash really badly there because my skin just wasn't used to that kind of heat and humidity. So be very careful with that. If you are going to go in August, my best recommendation is super strong sun factor. Make sure you get that right. Remember to wear extremely airy clothes. Probably a lot of the things that you have now aren't going to be good enough. Do not wear cotton close to your skin. You're just not going to be able to deal with it. You want to wear very light things, very airy things, and make sure that you have as much sort of, you know, like many things, you know, sort of off your skin as you can do. One of the great things which is very popular in Japan is the sun umbrella. I actually have one here. This is my sun umbrella. So it's an acceptable thing to do there. I know it's not so cool in other places around the world, but in Japan a sun umbrella is very acceptable. Loads of people use them. It's almost like a silly thing if you don't use them, and they help so much because they allow you to create your own shade and they take the heat off of you. In that kind of weather, it's so important important to do it just to get the heat off of you. And this one is an Alice in Wonderland one, so you can find some really amazing sun umbrellas in Japan, so I recommend doing it. After August you have September, like I'm telling you, so after August there's September and October, but in September and October the temperature starts to drop, but it's still summer. So unlike here in the UK, we're lucky if we get a few days of summer in August. Their summer in Japan lasts all the way through September and October. It's still hot, it still feels like summer. I remember when I lived out there, I felt in October, I was like, when will this end? I'm done. Like, I want it to be autumn already. But that's good for people who are going on vacation, because if you wait and go in September and October time, you'll find the temperatures a little bit nicer. You're still getting those really lovely summer days, but you're not feeling that extreme heat. So during September and October, you can wear summer clothes still and just something to put on at night time when it starts to get a little bit cooler, which is pretty decent. Now the temperature will change very quickly in November, so summer turning into autumn happens very, very fast in Japan. So as soon as it gets into sort of mid-November, you'll want to start wearing all your autumn clothes. So you'll be back to jeans and long sleeve t-shirts and jumpers and maybe a jacket as well. In December you'll definitely be in jacket season, so make sure you have that. And that's your weather and how your clothing should you know, should sort of marry up with those things. Now I talked about clothing in my shopping and eating vlog, which I'll link up here. And in Tokyo Disneyland and Tokyo Disney Sea and the resort generally, and Xperi, sorry, I always do that, and Xperi, the Tokyo Disney Springs kind of area, you can buy a lot of clothing that from the park. So you can get ears, you can also get hats and gloves and scarves and things that are all sort of different character branding and such. One of my favorite things that I see every winter in Tokyo Disneyland is a Cheshire Cat hat, which has sort of these long things that hang down at the front of you, a bit like a scarf, and they've got mittens at the end. If I find a picture of it, I'll stick one here, but they're really cool, and they do them in a range of different versions. I think they do a Sully from Monsters Inc. one as well. My brother got just a little Cheshire Cat beanie one time when he was there. You can get Mickey Mouse gloves as well, if you want to wear those. So there's a bunch load of things that you can get, because Tokyo Disneyland does get proper winter, so they sell proper winter stuff, which is pretty awesome. You'll also find that the Tokyo Disney Resort sells a lot of stuff for the really hot weather. They will sell hand fans or little water squirters with a fan at the end. You see a lot of kids walking around with those at one point. They're pretty fun. And loads of ice beverages as well for you to cope with the heat, or hot chocolate and other hot beverages in the park during the winter months too. So they sort of, there's a lot of unique things that you can get your hands on when the weather is particularly extreme, which is pretty cool. Now I showed you guys this in one of my earlier vlogs. This is in the clothing vlog. This is my sort of blanket poncho-y thing that I picked up in one of the, have I put it on back to front? I've just got it all mixed up. This is the blanket poncho-y thing that I got when I went to Tokyo Disneyland one year, and I was really quite cold. You'll see here it's got a little Minnie Mouse on it. It's a little blanket which does up at the front with a little sort of, I don't know what these things are called. Toggle, it's a toggle, isn't it? And on the hood it has these little mini ears that sort of poke up when I haven't got proper mini ears on. Now this is an adult kind of blankety poncho-y thing, which they sell during the winter months, but they also sell blankets for kids, and they started to ship these over to Walt Disney World as well. When I was in Walt Disney World I saw a few of these on sale. They're blankets which come in a bit of a cube. They sort of tuck into their own hood, and they sort of sell them like a cube. It almost looks like a cushion, but you unfold them and they're a blanket with a little hood on it. Like this one has this hood, but it's effectively just like a square piece of material, and they're great for kids. They're about kid size, and they're themed with all different characters. Like there's a Donald Duck one and a Daisy Duck one. I think there's Chipmunks ones and other such things, and you get them for your kids, so when they're cold in the parks they can put these on and go around looking like Donald Duck, which is pretty awesome. I thought they were unique to Tokyo Disneyland and Disney Sea, but they are selling them in Walt Disney World as well. So if you see them in Walt Disney World, they came from Tokyo, pick one up, because they're quite almost a unique gift for Tokyo Disneyland. If you do go to the parks and you've brought a lot of clothes with you and you've realised you've bought too much, the best thing you could do is to go and put some of your extra stuff in a locker. There was a few times when we would go to Tokyo Disneyland when the weather was going to be quite variable. So we would take a lot of stuff with us and just leave stuff in the lockers for us to go and get back another time. Lockers are somewhere between 300 and 700 yen, and you need 100 yen coins to use them. They are by the park entrance, also underneath the monorail stop for Tokyo Disneyland, and also inside of the station, in Maihama Station, which is the nearest station to Tokyo Disneyland. So, well, the Tokyo Disney Resort. So you can find lockers everywhere, but if you are just wanting to dump your stuff somewhere whilst you go around the park, then the lockers by the entrance of Tokyo Disneyland or Tokyo Disney Sea are the best places to go for you to shove all your stuff. Cool, so finally, let's talk about our favourite unique experiences to do with weather and clothing in Tokyo Disney Resort. Now, this may seem a little bit silly, but there are favourite unique experiences that you can get at Tokyo Disney Resort to do with, well, maybe not weather, but definitely to do with clothing. And that is the amount of cosplay or group outfits that you see at Tokyo Disneyland. I did actually see this a little bit at Walt Disney World. You know, some people go to Walt Disney World and you see, especially people that are on sort of hen weekends or they're on a group trip, sometimes they'll wear very similar t-shirts. In Tokyo Disneyland, you see, in particular, and Tokyo Disney Sea, but you see so many couples and friends that have got matching or the same outfit. It's so cool. So one of my favorite experiences is seeing a bunch of guys in Tokyo Disney Sea. They were like school kids, they were about 15, 16 years old, and they all had the same bright fuchsia pink Minnie Mouse t-shirt on. It was amazing. It was just like Minnie in this cute little pose and like, I don't know, like something like this, and every single one of them had it on, and they looked like pretty cool school kids. You know, they had sort of like flicked hair. I don't know, it was just amazing. There was just a sea of them in these pink Minnie Mouse tops. It was awesome. In Tokyo Disneyland, I've seen a lot of girls that have very cute outfits, sort of Alice inspired outfits on, and because I don't know, because their hair is they tend to have quite a lot of hair, and because it's quite dark colour, a lot of them do this amazing thing where they put their hair up like mini ears. I don't know how they get it to stay like that. There must be a lot of hairspray going on there, but they sort of make these two buns on top of their head, mini ear shaped, and then they'll put a little bow on it or a little bow on the side. It's amazing. They go around with this little Minnie Mouse style hairdo going on. So wherever you go, you'll see a bunch of people dressed in the same outfit. Some girls will bring cuddly toys with them and they'll carry the cuddly toy around. Like I'm not big into Duffy, but Duffy's quite big in Tokyo Disney Resort, and there's a bunch of girls that will take around big Duffy toys and carry them around the parks, and others that are just generally dressed in the same outfit. So that's really cool and pretty cute. I don't know how they managed to coordinate themselves. Some of you guys will also know that in September, there's a few days in September, I think about 10 days or something, where they have a Disney cosplay days. And I think the reason for this, although I don't know for definite, I think the reason for this is because so many people were coming to the Disney parks dressed as characters. So we call this cosplaying. Lots of people know this term, but some people won't. We call this cosplay when you dress up like a character. So we think lots of people were coming to the parks dressed up as characters, and lots of people know that you're not really allowed to go to the Disney parks dressed up as characters unless it's a special event. So what Tokyo did was they made this special event, Disney cosplay days, when they allow anybody to come into the parks dressed as whoever they want to be dressed as. And those days are just phenomenal. To see a bunch load of people in cosplay is just great. If you want to see some good pictures, just shove it into your favorite search engine, Tokyo Disneyland cosplay day. You'll see some really great pictures. It's really quite cute. So that's everything. That's all of our videos for the Tokyo Disney Resort tips series. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I hope they were useful to you. If you have any extras, let me know in the comments below. Maybe I'll add some at a later date. If you're going to Tokyo Disney Resort, have an amazing time. It's still my absolute favourite park. I think the quality of Tokyo Disneyland is so high. The rides are just so fantastic. There's so much technology there. It's well maintained. The customer service is unbelievable. People are very upbeat. There's a great selection of food. Not so much if you're vegetarian, but you know, you can get other things in Xperi, sorry, the Tokyo Disney Springs area. Xperi is phenomenal, incredibly relaxing. There's a bunch load of stuff for you to buy. Be careful about the weather and Japanese holidays. Just be wary about those. But if you go, have an amazing time. I can't wait till I go back. I hope I'll see you there one day. Yeah, just have a great time. Thanks so much for watching the series. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. I hope to see you in a Disney park or on the channel again soon. Okay, bye.